Lift your eye to the eagle cry. Lift your eye to her call. Lift your eye to the eagle cry. She rules forever over all. If you're lost upon the hillside,
Alaska is made possible by the following. By Coca-Cola, serving Alaska quality soft drinks since 1937.
And by the Alaska Seafood Marketing Institute, educating consumers and promoting sales of Alaska seafood throughout the U.S. and in international markets.
Reaching up into the sky, let her teardrops touch your fingers. And let them quench the reason why. Lift your eye to the eagle cry.
There's a heartbeat louder than thunder. Revolution is in the air. There's a heartbeat deep inside our mother. Are you too cool to care?
Hello, welcome to Heartbeat Alaska. I'm Jeannie Green. Thank you so much for joining us for Native News and Entertainment. Hello to our viewers out of San Mateo, California. We're so glad to have you with us. On today's program, we travel to Pueblo, Montana with Annette Brown's SKC-TV report. We travel to Fairbanks, Alaska for the World Eskimo Indian Olympics. If you're a first-time viewer of Heartbeat Alaska and have not seen the World Eskimo Indian Olympics, they're a fascinating, fabulous Native American sport. All that plus much more. But first, here's Gary Fife with Native News across the nation.
This is Native News across the nation. I'm Gary Fife. Some funding for Native American programs has been restored to the Interior Appropriations Bill in Congress. National Native News reported that the U.S. House of Representatives will keep some money for the Office of Indian Education at the U.S. Department of Education. This week, the House committee voted to retain some $52 million in funds that go to support public school efforts to meet the needs of Native American students. The Senate voted to give $54.7 million to OIE. Congressional leaders want the money to go to help the schools and students, but not to bureaucrats in its central office. The House committee is considering BIA figures of $1.67 billion for its next fiscal year, and that's a reduction of $52 million. Funding for the Indian Health Service stands at $1.96 billion. The Senate approved $5.5 million for the Institute of American Indian and Alaska Native Culture and Arts Development. In Nome, Alaska, the International Inuit Circumpolar Conference is in session. Over 70 delegates from Inuit communities surrounding the North Pole have gathered in Nome to discuss issues and form opinions to send to international bodies discussing indigenous affairs. The ICC holds non-governmental observer status at the United Nations. A group of Illinois congressmen has asked the U.S. Secretary of Education to keep federal hands off Chief Illiniwek, the mascot of the University of Illinois. In their letter to Secretary Richard Riley, 11 congressmen say the federal department has no business interfering with the symbol used by an Illinois state institution. The letter adds that Colorado U.S. Senator Ben Nighthorse Campbell has said that he found the Chief Illiniwek mascot not to be a problem. The Chief Illiniwek mascot has been among those sports mascots declared to be negative stereotypes by some Native Americans. A priceless collection of Native American artifacts, once held by a private collector, has now become public property at the New York State Historical Association. The New York Times reports the collection, put together by Eugene and Claire Thaw, has been donated to the New York group as part of their estate. The association has added an 18,000-foot wing to its headquarters in Cooperstown, New York, to house the new collection. It is with sadness that we must report the death of Lakota opera singer White Eagle. Indian Country Today reported that White Eagle finally lost his battle with AIDS on July 7th in Mission, South Dakota. White Eagle had performed internationally and sang at the famous Carnegie Hall, but perhaps the pinnacle of his career came when he sang at the inaugural of President George Bush, and he was backed up by the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. White Eagle's wake and memorial was carried out at his home in Mission, South Dakota. And finally, the North American Indigenous Games are about to start in Minnesota. The site was moved from Bemidji to Blaine, Minnesota to better accommodate the Games athletes and visitors. Games organizers are confident about reaching their goal of 8,000 athletes registered for the competition. Opening ceremonies are taking place on July 31st, and a full schedule of 17 team and individual sports will be spread over the 6 days that end August 5th. Besides the athletes, 200 native performers from 31 states and Canada will add to the festivities. Native dance troupes, singers, and musicians, plus a traditional powwow will round out that agenda. This is Native News Across the Nation. For Heartbeat Alaska, I'm Gary Fife.
Going to the desert, Arizona, Mexico. No time to wonder what they do. No time to wonder what they do. No time to wonder.
Hey, watch. Heartbeat Alaska on Wednesday. Don't leave home without it.
Oh, yeah.
You frozen yet?
Just the surface. You?
A little soft in the middle.
We're cracking up back here, boss.
I'm frozen first. I'm frozen down in front.
Again.
Anything but Coca-Cola and we melt.
I love it. Give me that Coca-Cola.
You fall out.
Hey, nice ceiling fan.
That's Coca-Cola.
Ooh, that tickles.
I'm just gonna float around and soak this up for a while.
Delicious.
Hello to our viewers in San Mateo, California. We're so happy to have you with us. If this is the first time you've ever watched Heartbeat Alaska, it's a Native news program, and routinely we ask for video from our viewers. Video of the Native Americans in your areas to share their culture with the rest of our viewers, who, by the way, are across Canada and Russia, Alaska, and the lower 48. So we've got a lot of friends and neighbors tuning in every single week, and we're glad that we do. One of those friends is Annette Brown. Let's travel to Montana for her report from SKC-TV out of Pablo, Montana.
Thanks, Jeannie. Before I get to all the happenings from SKC Public TV, I'd like to say hi and welcome to all my friends and relatives who watch Heartbeat Alaska on KNME Channel 5 from Albuquerque, New Mexico. The Powwow Trail made its trip through the Flathead Indian Reservation already twice this summer. The 97th annual Arlene celebration was held during the 4th of July weekend and by all accounts was a great success. Co-host drums were Black Whistle from the Crow Reservation and Big Crane from right here on the Flathead Reservation. Other drums there were Kicking Woman, Black Lodge, Indian Bay, and many others. Highlights of this year's celebration included a Women's All-Around special sponsored by Faith and Hannah Price and Melanie Sandoval, a women's bustle, and the ever-popular men's jingle dress contest, and the naming of the new Miss and Little Miss Salish Pend Oreille. The new Miss Salish Pend Oreille for 1995-96 is Felicia Paul, and the Little Miss Salish Pend Oreille is Felicity McDonald. 99-year-old Joe Ennius was given special recognition on July 4th during the Veterans Honor Dance. Joe Ennius is the last surviving tribal member who is a veteran of World War I.
This lady right there. Black Whistle, are you ready? Okay, let's give them one here. One straight one. Keep them front
18th annual Standing Arrow Powwow is held July 14th through July 16th on the shores of Flathead Lake in Elmo, Montana. Co-host drums were Northern Cree from Hobbema, Alberta, Canada, and the left-hand drum from Eden Valley, Alberta, Canada. Besides the dance contest, there was a stick game tournament and a men's softball tournament, plus the soon-to-be famous Willy Burgers. The 1995-96 Miss Standing Arrow is Lisette Ironcloud, and the new Little Miss Standing Arrow is Amanda Perez. The big winners of the Standing Arrow Powwow were Richard Rock from Rocky Boy, Montana, who won both the men's fancy grass dance category and a grass dance special that was sponsored by the Powwow Committee. Daryl and Roseanne Abrahamson from Fort Hall, Idaho, not only won their adult dance categories, but were able to team up to win the Owl Dance contest as well. Plans are already being made for next year's 98th Arlese celebration and the 19th annual Standing Arrow Powwow. So mark your calendars for next July, and Jeannie, I hope to see you and your crew here next year. For Heartbeat Alaska and SKC Public TV, this is Annette Brown. Lemlemsh.
Thanks, Annette. Let's move on to Fairbanks, Alaska for the annual World Eskimo Indian Olympics. For thousands of years, natives have survived by cooperating and working together in a harsh environment.
These games were made to ensure the endurance, the abilities, to make sure, to make aware of the abilities of an individual. Like I say, we're looking for natural talent, and some of these kids have abilities that, unless they try it, they'd never know they have this gift.
The 35th annual World Eskimo Indian Olympics, held in Fairbanks, are based on games of tradition, of endurance and strength, and the ability to withstand pain. Each event has a special meaning. Natives of the past created these games to ensure survival in a harsh climate. Native games are equal opportunity games, demanding strength and endurance from both men and women. As hundreds looked on, organizers of the event hoped they would somehow gain knowledge of the traditional ways of the Native people, an appreciation for what the Native people have known all along,
that in order to survive in this harsh climate, you better be tough, you better be skilled, and you better share with one another if you are to survive.
I couldn't do that right now. I hurt myself. You mean to sign your hat? Yeah. Emmett? Yeah. E. Emmett Smith? M-M-I-T-T.
Fellow Olympian Tommy Moe was a special guest this year, and though he didn't compete here, he was right at home, showing his appreciation for the Native Games.
Congratulations to all the winners of the events of the 35th Annual World Eskimo Indian Olympics. And thank you, Edna Peters of Ruby, Alaska, for sending in that video. Congratulations to your parents, by the way. Mabel and Irving Ungadruk of Sitka, Alaska, sent me an invitation to their 50th wedding anniversary to be held August 20th. Congratulations to you as well. Let's take a moment now and enjoy some good native rock and roll. This time from Canada, from a tape called Indian Times 2. The artist, Tom Jackson.
The eagle is a very beautiful bird, and it's a powerful bird. And it's free. Flies way up there high.
If you're going to the desert, Arizona, Mexico, to wonder what they do there. No time to wonder where to go. If you cannot find the answer, you've got to ask someone who knows. It cannot be the worldly sailor, nor the winds of northern snow. Lift your eye to the eagle cry. Lift your eye to her call. Lift your eye to the eagle cry. She rules forever over all. If you're lost upon the hillside, freezing wind through mountain pine, can almost feel the earth. You can almost feel the earth, but you don't know why she cries. You'll find you'll know what you've been doing, reaching up into the sky. Let her tears teardrops touch your fingers. And let them cleanse the reason why. Lift your eye to the eagle cry. Lift your eye to her call. Lift your eye to the eagle cry. She rules forever over all.
The eagle always been our emblem, way back. The reason why is that eagle is a very strong bird. It flies high, way up in the air, and it's independent. It does not depend on anybody else for their food.
Lift your eye to the eagle cry. Lift your eye to her call. Lift your eye to the eagle cry. She rules forever over all. If you're going to the desert, Arizona, Mexico, no time to wonder what they do there. No time to wonder where to go.
Now the police come and put a lock on the dance hall door, and they told us no more powwows, no more Sundance. Well, we were very disappointed about that. But that didn't stop us. We just moved back further into the bush.
Here was a water I drank, a swift canoe that carried me. Straight was the arrow protecting me. Wild was the meat that fed me. Sweet was a maple sugar. Strong were the herbs that gave me life. Great is my mother, the earth. Great is my father, the sky. Chant it with me now. That led me. Straight was the tongue that expressed me. Wild were the passions within me. Sweet was the touch of my love. Strong were the fibers of my soul.
Thank you so much. Sunshine Records out of Canada. You'll see their number on the credits. Make sure you give them a call. I'd like to say hello to Leslie Martin, wrote me a letter from Seward, and also from Joe Delia from Squitna, Alaska. We received many letters here at Heartbeat Alaska, and we appreciate you writing, and we appreciate you calling, and most of all, we appreciate the video that you continue to send in. It's really easy. Give me a call, 907-563-7440. For all of us here at Heartbeat Alaska, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week. Take care.